returned once again today to deliver another stream of Golden Kamuy. On this stream, oh, there goes Twitch. On this stream, we are covering episode 9 of Golden Kamuy. Sorry, last time I actually tried doing this, Twitch died once again. It's every single Monday I try to do anything on Twitch, it just dies immediately. I don't know why, it's been happening really a lot recently. But yeah, so today we actually are covering episode 9 of Golden Kamuy. As we know, we've been introduced to a new character who's quite interesting, I must say. It's kind of, they're trying to draw parallels between Sugimoto and this character, when in theory, no, there's actually a lot more to it than just that, and it's actually kind of interesting to see that dynamic being kind of shown, and being kind of contrasted between each other. So it'd be an interesting thing to see actually what happens in this episode between the two of them, because let's face it, he's trying to say, look, we're both the same, when in theory, no, they aren't, they're completely different. So it's one of those things, what will happen to this quite interesting character in this episode, we will see. Anyways, put on Twitter, I've gone live for Golden Kamuy, before I forget. So, gone live for Golden Kamuy episode 9. Or not 90. Or not 90. No, not 90. Right, yeah, sweet. Okay, so, anyway, let's begin this thing in 3, 2, 1. See this thing now. Uh-oh. That's some double uh-oh right there. That's like, oh god, no. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens between the two of them, because it's kind of, it's drawing the fact that, oh god, something's going to happen between the two of them. It might actually be something really, really, really big. We don't know, because there's a lot of like kind of build up, if you get what I mean, towards the final section of the show, because you got Hijigata and Surumi as well, who's kind of like, there's a growing tension between the two of them, and you've got this here as well, you've got Shirashi as well, you've got everything just happening, and it's all leading to very interesting places, I must say. I quite like this, I really love this show. I actually can't believe they actually get to the final stretch of the show as well. That's the other thing to note, is the fact that it's sort of getting to the final stretch. It's the last maybe 3 episodes now. As if there's no season 2 as well. The shot composition is quite interesting once again. Damn. Oh. Yes. Yes, boy. There's just no doubt about it. This is anime of the year. This is literally anime of the year. Oh no. I quite like how this episode is structured so far. It's really brilliant. There's just so many things are going on that it's sort of just coming together, like little by little. And the way it's doing it is brilliant. What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? The OST is actually pretty good in this episode as well. I never actually noted that beforehand. The OST is actually pretty freaking good. So many things just happened. That literally just happened. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh man. I want to see what happens there. I actually really want to see what happens next. No. No, don't do that to me, show. Oh. Oh. Oh man, the show is so freaking good. Oh my god. This show is amazing. God damn, this is a good episode. Really good episode, actually. Damn. I'm gonna miss that person they found. It was one of those things. It was kind of like it had the same effect that a lot of other shows have. Are you meant to laugh or are you meant to feel creeped out? I don't know. That's the kind of the question you kind of ask yourself, because it has that kind of, it's comedic, but it has that kind of like really kind of scary undercurrent beneath it. You kind of like, oh god. It's like when reality hits you, you're like, oh god, it's there, isn't it? And it just kind of hits you really fast. But my god, was that a good episode of Golden Kamuy as well. God damn, this show just goes from strength to strength each week. I mean, by now, certain shows might have kind of lost this theme, but this show just continues. Just continues to go at like 100% all the time. I just can't get past it because it's just so freaking good. I kind of wish it wasn't so overlooked. Because it really is kind of feeling like it's overlooked. Right, so, yeah. This episode was really freaking brilliantly structured, I must say, because a lot of the things that we wanted to actually happen started to come to fruition. And actually how it kind of happened, it was kind of freaking neat. It was a little bit different to what I expected, because I was expecting it to kind of happen at maybe an event later on into the series. But the way it kind of came to a head was actually kind of freaking neat and brilliant, I must say, because you had the prisoner, you had Hijigata, you had Tsurumi, you had Sugimoto, you had everyone practically in one episode just sort of come together. And it was kind of freaking neat because what started off as kind of like, oh, we need to escape because the 7th Division's there. We need to get out of here. To, oh god, it's Tsurumi. To, oh my god, it's Hijigata. It's just all these things happened. And then you had the whole entire thing of the Orca taking away the prisoner as well. And actually then him sort of getting a different death than he actually imagined. And it's sort of kind of, it all just kind of came together. And it was just brilliant to watch it happen because it's one of those ones I just didn't expect it to happen in this way. I thought, okay, it will happen. It'll be kind of freaking neat. But the way they actually kind of went about it was better than I expected. Really, it was. I couldn't ask for a better episode how they actually kind of brought everyone together, actually kind of then accelerate this idea of what's going to happen later on, especially with Tsurumi's actual character, because he's sort of there and you're kind of like, okay, what's he going to do? And you've got also Hijigata as well, who's practically a walking Chekhov gun at this point. Actually kind of something will happen with him with Shirashi, because Shirashi's actually kind of connected to him. So that's there as well. You're kind of saying what's going to happen there, what's going to happen between those two. How's it going to implicate Sugimoto and Aspida into this whole entire thing? And it's all just kind of, it's just upping the game ever so much as time goes on. It's not it's not letting this event sort of just slow down. It's always, if a slowdown happens, it will always impact something later on in the series as well, which I actually kind of like, because you had the whole entire scene at the end with Shirashi, Sugimoto, Hijigata, and also then Aspida as well. So you're kind of like, okay, what's going to happen there? Like, something's going to happen at one point between the two of them, between the four of them as well. They're just going to be one of those events that will be remembered for a long time, I think. It's just so freaking brilliant, I must say. I actually kind of like the fact that it actually built up the relationship between Prisoner and Sugimoto as well, because it's one of those things that it kind of started off the fact of him saying, look, we're both the same, we're kind of exactly alike, to now it's kind of like, look, will you remember me from now on? It's one of those things that it's comedic, but at the same time, it's sort of one of those things that it kind of brings a different dynamic to the show as well, and actually kind of shows a different side of Sugimoto as well than we actually got to see so far. That's why I always like, because Sugimoto has always been kind of deconstructed as time goes on. He's never actually been kind of the exact same person since episode 1. Slowly, things have changed with him that's impacted his character as well. And I actually quite like that. But also, the other thing to note is Tanegaki's character as well, because Tanegaki was there. He was kind of one of those characters who was always going to be important into the foreseeable future, but the way they actually kind of went about it kind of proves to you that, again, no one is actually safe, which is actually one of those things I actually appreciate about the show as well, is the fact that they show a safe place for someone has to be able to go to, but in theory, no, it's not a safe place because anything can actually happen. You just don't know when. And I actually quite like that because it's actually kind of telling you, look, you can in theory say yes, it's okay, but no, it's not at all. It's actually kind of frightful. It's kind of one of those things you just never know. It's actually kind of shown in this episode perfectly with Tanaki's character, who's otherwise not a kind of a bad person. He's actually not done anything so far throughout the time that he was actually in the village to now anything bad. And actually one of those things that it's actually kind of, it brings back to question the idea of his past, him trying to get away from it, and actually can't get away from it, it always just comes back. It also then actually kind of highlights the differences in certain characters as well. It's also one of those things that you actually kind of have to note as well. This idea of how these characters slowly want to kind of get to the MacGuffin or their own kind of ambitions as well. Because certainly there's a load of characters in this show that all have different motives that don't always correspond with the actual MacGuffin, but also kind of have their own kind of set of skills that actually makes you interested to see what actually happens later on to them as well. Like, it's just one of those things, each character just kind of brings their A game in this episode, and I actually quite like it as well. I actually just think, really, all in all, this series is brilliant. Like, it really is. I just can't see it. I can't see any fault to that show as well, because the OST was brilliant this episode as well. Animation was kind of hit and miss, as it always is. One of those things, but it's one of those things that I always get past if the story is really freaking good, and the story in this show is brilliant. So it's one of those things that doesn't really affect me too much. Let's say, oh, it's a deterrent for the whole entire show. It's not. It's one of those things that it's, if you can get past it, you'll find yourself a brilliant show that just kind of encapsulates everything I love about anime for its whole entire year so far. So really, yeah, I want to see what happens later on to the series, and see what actually, how this whole entire thing wraps up and how it actually kind of all comes to a head, and see what the actual final showdown will actually be. It'll be one of those ones that I just want to see what happens. I want to see how it all just kind of comes to conclusion, and how it will actually kind of impact the future. And hopefully we get season 2. We just don't know. It's one of those things. We just don't know what happened with season 2. Hopefully we do, because this show deserves a season 2. Deserves a season 3 as well. But yeah, so that is me done for today. So with all that said, I have indeed been a driver. If you have enjoyed this whole entire stream on Twitch, then do leave a follow, because indeed it does help quite a bit. If you enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help quite a bit. If you enjoyed it here on YouTube and you want to stay that little bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does help quite a bit. But until tomorrow, I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.